Nuno Gourgel, head coach of Utah United, the new USL W League franchise. Thanks, Nuno, for joining me for a couple of minutes here. We just barely held tryouts. About somewhere between 30 and 40 players showing up here. Really good turnout, I think. Just a really big group. Just what did you kind of make of sort of your first meeting with some of the girls that you're going to wind up coaching this year?
To be honest, I knew there's some good players coming in here, but some of the talent and some of the standard and intensity made me even more excited about this opportunity. I mean, I think everybody knows Utah has a lot of talent, and it always has, and the fact that, I show up at tryout 40, 50 kids, right, and the level is that high is pretty impressive and pretty exciting, and one of the main reasons why this team, came into town, and hopefully, with all the kids we have here and all the other kids we have coming in that weren't able to be here today because they're already gone back to school, I think it could be a pretty good group.
Well, you touched on it right there, but what excited you the most about coaching in the W League with Utah United in particular, working with some of the guys like Matt and Jerry and Mark, and some of them into launching this brand new project? I mean, W League's never been in this state before. And yet it feels like there's enough talent around here that you guys could be pretty competitive right away.
Yeah, and I think when Matt and Mark reached out to me and Jerry, I think the biggest thing I asked them is I knew Utah's talent. We all know that, right? But it was the professionalism, and when I looked at the league and I looked at the teams around the league and what they do in professionalism, Minnesota's getting 6,000, Detroit City's getting 3,000 fans, and with that, I just looked around and I thought Utah can replicate that, and with the talent and what is the project they sold me, I'm just super excited, like as you saw today, like there's some really good players in Utah. So I think once they sold me on the marketing and everything outside the field, I was super excited. And then obviously once I, realized that there's going to be a lot of interest and a lot of community support, I'm pretty excited about that.
You obviously know a lot of that community, the soccer community, also the player pool that you're dealing with from your day job at Utah and Utah Valley, Snow College, a little bit before that. So kind of the type of player to come out of here. Is your head already tinkering a little bit with sort of how to play, kind of style of play? I won't ask about formations and tactics and that kind of thing. We're probably a ways away from that. But are you already kind of thinking about sort of how you want to play?
Yeah, I mean, part of choosing a team, you got to know how you play, because we got to get a certain profile of kid in here that's going to allow us to play a certain way. Obviously, we got to be adaptable, and and some kids are very talented and they may not fit the profile, but we'll find a way for them to fit into the team and get out their strengths. So yeah, I have a pretty good idea how I want to play, and I think the kids we saw here, some of the kids that can show up, there's going to be plenty of kids that will fit that profile, that both on and off the ball, that will be able to hopefully excite the fans, and something the fans want to come out and watch it, because not only these are kids who are fighting and playing for the state of Utah.
For sure. You've also got your staff of assistant coaches assembled, a lot of Utah ties and Utah locals, natives from the club scene, from the collegiate scene, even nationally. I'm talking about North Carolina and Pitt, obviously, collegiately. What stood out to you about kind of the assistants that you've hired so far, and kind of the staff that you assembled?
So, I mean, I think the biggest thing is, like, we wanted females on staff, right? And having that, I wanted to get females who, would be able to connect to things, but people who I think the girls would enjoy. So I think, Alex and, a lot of the kids know her and like her, so that was a draw for me. And then you have Ashton, who I think's got a bright future in the game, and, at 22 years old, I think, sometimes you will not know that because of their maturity, and, everybody I spoke to in Pitt, people that I trust, from, big names in college, big names in youth soccer, they all spoke really highly of her and what she can do, and the fact that she's still a lot to learn, but yeah, she's got a lot to offer. It's pretty exciting. And then obviously with Kafusi, like, I've been with him for a long time, and I know what we're gonna get. And he's someone who I trust with my life. So so I'm pretty excited to work with him again, and what we can do with this exciting talent. And then I can't go into much detail. We have a goalkeeper coach that right now I'm speaking with, and most likely we're going to end up on staff, and I think she's going to be fantastic. Once again, I think the girls will enjoy her, but at the same time, she's very good at what she does, and part of that is we got to make sure the talent we're going to get, we get good coaches, but also good people, because at the end of the day, this is an opportunity for us to help a lot of these kids reach out their dreams. Obviously, we're not going to promise anything, but we're definitely going to work very hard to expose these kids. So once they go back to their collegiate teams, they go in with some hype and do well in college. So that way, sets them up for success.
Last question, I'll get you out of here on this. What's kind of the next step as you guys look towards the 2025 season and first kick in Orem?
I think we got some logistics. We have sorted it out, and you just got to finalize. So obviously once we pick to the team, and we can send it to the girls, because like I said earlier, we're going to be extremely professional, and I think some of the professionalism we'll have will shock a lot of people. You know what I mean? And that's what excites me about it. But the next thing is just sitting down and just making sure I get the right team, the right people and talent, so that way we have an extremely committed